So I guess I find my comfort in him, and
Mm.
then my uncomfort is obviously when I'm not with him.
Yeah. So what
Mm,
was so comfortable about him?
I don't know. It's like I guess attachment,
Mm.
and then like you get used to it, and then it's kind of yeah, you just get used to it, and then you expect it always to be there.
So your sense of comfort would be his presence and
Yeah,
feeling that 안정감, the
yeah,
safety.
yeah. It's like I think it's also like a lot of people can just refer it to as just like the physical aspect, but it's not just the physical, it's like the psychological and like the mental part as well. Like it affects it definitely. Yeah, I think more so because I live alone and I don't have any other distractions or other alternatives I can really go to, especially in a pandemic. And I'm just kind of by myself. Because before I would answer that I find comfort when I'm alone because I lived with other people and I didn't think like I didn't really have alone time, I guess. And then now that I only have alone time, I realized I don't actually like being alone. And um, yeah, yeah, I think that's why my answer has changed over time.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what is uncomfortable right now? Like, so you're not with him, therefore, what's so uncomfortable about it? That you're,
The whole idea of it. So I'm not with him physically, I'm not with him psychologically
mm,
or mentally, I guess. And I think if there was like, if I still had more than the physical aspect of it, we can talk through it or we can, I don't know, like there can be a solution to somewhat of it, like at least 80% of it, because obviously the physical part isn't the only part that's part. But I can't do anything. So knowing that I can't do anything and knowing I don't have it and knowing I have no control over it makes me uncomfortable.
mm. So if you were to choose an uncomfortable object, like a tangible object, what would you say it would be in this case?
Can you give me an example? Like I'm not
I
sure.
mean, for your example, it can be something that some object that would remind you of it, or it's an object that you can't do something without him, or you know, something in your house right now that you're constantly reminded of that uncomfortableness.
Oh, this is gonna sound so bad. But I still
Huh?
have his like toothbrush like in my on my toothbrush holding thing. Yeah. And the last time, oh, this is so disgusting, but the last time he was around, he like I lent him like my biggest like t-shirt and he wore it and I still haven't washed it either. Like that sounds so disgusting, but I haven't washed it because I couldn't wash it because it still smells like him. Yeah. Okay, I'm just
Oh
gonna
my
stop. That
God.
sounds disgusting.
No, it's not disgusting. It's not disgusting at all. Like I can really feel that, like, oh,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. I think in the literal sense, I think it is disgusting, but like I can't bring myself to actually put it in the washer because
yeah.
then the part of him that I can have is gone. Oh, that sounds so like corny, but like
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, and I had like he gave me a coffee machine like last Christmas, so I like not have any coffee since like from that machine for like ages.
So you don't use it at all
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I used it.
because because of that, or because you just rather not drink that coffee?
No, it's because of that. I have the
Wow.
pods literally like right next to me as well. It's new.
Oh.
Yeah. Like I have stuff like So I wear glasses like if I need them. So I don't wear contacts and stuff, but he does, and he like always had. So he always like
Mm.
left his separate contact solution, his contact case, and um, what's that? Like his like hair gel, and I still have it, but like I've managed to like put it in a corner of my bathroom, but I can't do anything. Yeah, I can't.
So
Yeah,
that corner would always remind you of him.
yeah. I try not to look at it, but like it's kind of there, but I can't take it. Like you've managed to actually like get it out of like that place and hide it. Like I physically can't do it. Like I look
Mm.
at it and I'm like I'm gonna do it, and then I don't.
And how
Yeah,
long has it been since all that?
a year now.
Wow.
Yeah, like everyone says like things get easier, but I actually I thought that too, and like I think I tried to find distractions, but those distractions became complications because obviously I wasn't ready emotionally, and I made it clear like it's not like I was trying to do anything, but like I think I've caused problems, like as you know, with my story with men, where they thought there was something going on, but it was just friendship, which I've clarified, and yeah, like it was just out of respect in case something happened, and it still happened. So I was a bit like, the fuck, bitch, I explained that this now. But yeah, and obviously, and I think that's like another thing, because before I tried to distract myself, and obviously that didn't work. Like distract doesn't have like friends and like surround myself with friends. And
Mm.
maybe the issue is I shouldn't be making friends with the opposite gender. But like now that like, and I was so like surrounded with the opposite gender before, but now I'm a lot more conscious about it, and I don't think I've been around with the opposite gender in like ages.
Mm.
I think Dean probably, but I guess in like a group setting, but I wouldn't make effort to like reach out to my guy friends first, unless like I've known them since like childhood kind of situation.
And you don't plan on moving on or anything for now?
I think because I've tried, and I really did try in the beginning. Tried to distract myself from work, and um, just like, yeah, I think it's more of trying to distract myself, because obviously I think when you feel something, you can't. I don't think you can actually detach yourself, if that makes sense. Like
Mm.
there'll always be a part of you that remains with that person or that
Yeah.
thing that you're holding on to. Like it was once present. Like unless you lose memories, like like in an accident, and like you actually lost all your memories kind of situation, like you'll never actually lose that part of yourself where you spent time with them, you've invested in them, whether that's emotionally, financially, like whatever it is, you've still put investment in them, and like you've invested because it's worth, it's worth it to you. Like it meant something to you, so it's not just gonna go away just because you try to do that. And I think that's the whole part of being human. Like
Mm.
if you don't, you're just a psychopath. Like that's my logic.
Yeah.
Like people act so hard, and I tend to do this like to my like in front of my parents. Like they think I've moved on. Like they think I'm just depressed right now because of the pandemic. Like but they don't know the details of it, because I put this front up where I act like I'm, tough as shit. And I'm like, oh yeah, like I got my life together now. But
Yeah.
inside, you can't control that. If I
Yeah.
did, then I would have been like, I'm a boss ass bitch. Like, look at me. Like, I can get whoever I want. But it's not. So yeah, I think it's just trying to focus on. I think for me, it's like also a time where I have to be alone, anyways, to
Mm.
try and figure out me, because I don't know me,
Mm.
and you should know yourself best. No, that sounds so sad, but like that's kind of my position.
It's not sad. I think it's a great opportunity for you to kind of grow out from it as well. Like, know yourself, kind of reflect yourself. It's, I don't think it's a bad thing. In a way, it might be a better thing for you.
Yeah, I think growing out of attachment is should be the positive. Just because,
Mm.
like before, like I'm saying, there's the benefits and also like there was the benefits to it because he used to wake up like really early in the morning, like at 6 a.m. And like when I see that, I'm like, oh wow, like because I respected him. That's why I liked him because like I wanted to be
Yeah,
like there were certain features that I'm like, oh wow, like I want to be that kind of person. So like that's what I'm attracted to. But nowadays, um, it's I don't know. It's now like I get up and I'm on my phone. Like I have no one to blame ultimately, but because I'm so because he was so engraved in part of my life, it like mirrored onto me. Like I guess it goes both ways, like the good things and the bad things. But for me, I felt like it was more of the good things, which is why it was so hard for me because I felt like without this person, I could see myself changing in the bad way. Like I could see myself falling out of good habits, and
would you
it's
would you also say that after you broke up with him, none of that good aspects stayed with you? Like the things that you admired and wanted to be, it no longer stayed with you anymore because you kind of lost him as well.
yeah, it's like I think like from an outsider's point of view, you could be like, then why can't you just benefit from the good things and keep that good things? But because you associated those good things with that, you lost that, so you feel like you can't do it, and
Mm,
you can't. Like I don't know how to explain this. Like I try to get up earlier in the morning, but now like I can't even fall asleep. Like before, my sleep pattern was so great. Like, and I guess because we were spending time. Okay, this is obviously the physical aspect, like whether I stay over his and or he stays over at mine. I'm not talking about just like sex as people put it, but literally the presence, the physical presence of them
mm,
made I fell asleep so much easier and faster. Like I didn't need to put up a candle to try and fall asleep. I didn't need like a deep sleep spray to put on my pillow. I didn't need lavender, chamomile. I didn't need sleeping teas. I didn't need melatonin. Like I didn't need all of that. Like
mm.
with just his presence, I felt so much more better falling asleep. And even yeah, like and then I think even like by the end of the relationship or by the end of whatever it was at the end, I started having nightmares. I had more disruptions. Like even he could see it. Like it started happening again when I was like at his because mentally I knew that this isn't gonna last forever and it's gonna be taken away from me at this point. So by that, like yeah, already then that's when the I guess when it actually started not without the actual label, but even without the label, and it's gonna actually end. It was like traumatizing me mentally. I don't know if that's making sense, but
Mm.
yeah, like I think nowadays as well, because you know how I said before that distracting myself was one way, like to like cope with it. I guess my coping mechanism, but now I don't do that because I feel like it affects other people, and I don't like I want to be the light to other people, and I wouldn't want to make other people worse than when they met me, if that makes sense. Like I
Mm.
don't want to emotionally damage them or just like in any way. So ultimately, like if I feel like I can't be a positive impact for them, I would, you know, not associate myself with them. Now I spend a lot more time alone, and I would choose to do that more, not because I want to, but I choose to do that more. um
And do you think the space you're living in is kind of helping you with that or like not helping you with that?
Definitely not. Like, as you know, it's very small, it's very
Yeah.
cramped. But I think if it was bigger, it wouldn't have changed anything either. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
you feel more hollow in a way. Like, if it's even bigger, like, it's like you in like a massive room, like, it's like even more space in there, but to yourself. So it's a bit yeah, I don't think that would have changed. I think for me, personally it's not about the physical aspect but my mental aspect because this room has always been this size, but again when it was 1 year ago this time, it wasn't like I had no issues with it. Like it was small, like I admit, yeah, it's small, but it wasn't like something that had impacted me so much mentally until now, because now I actually start feeling like, oh my gosh, I feel like claustrophobic, like, but before I didn't. So clearly, it's not the actual physical space for me personally. To some, it may.
Wow.
It's like I don't know if you remember, but you know, from the exhibition, we
Yeah.
had to do about like our home, and I was
Yes.
trying to compare it to. So I had photos in like Hong Kong, and like that was in the literal sense. When people ask me where would you consider a home, if you put where in the literal sense, it would be Hong Kong because I spent most of my life there. Like I like nearly what, like 16, 17 years of my life I was there, and then so in the where aspect of the place aspect, that's how I know I should be referring to as home. But to define home, to me, like home is where the people I love most is at. And obviously for me right now, my parents and family have moved back to Korea. So even though I've never lived in Korea, if I had a choice, I would go to Korea. I wouldn't go to Hong Kong, honestly. Like I miss it. I would go back for holidays and reminisce, I guess, and like enjoy what I had, and like
Yeah.
ultimately, like if I had to go live somewhere, when just putting the context of home, it would be to my family, like people, like where my loved ones are. And ultimately, even Hong Kong's still not, I don't consider it as my secondary home now. Now London is my secondary home because after family, all my friends are here. Like at
Mm,
least friends that I like and friends that actually made a difference in my life. Like those friends are here or was associated with here. Or so even if they've left, all our memories and like everything is here. So then to me, it would be my secondary home. And I think when we're talking about space again, my home in Korea, I've not lived in it. I've never lived in it. I have my room, but it's not my room. And but even though that's the case, like the people there are my family. So yeah, again, I don't think it's about the literal space. I used to think it was. Like I used to always, like even when I was like looking for places to live, I was like, if I move there, I'm gonna be like, even a few weeks ago before I had to put my deposit down, I was looking for other places, and then I was like, yeah, like having my like a 1 bedroom flat would be better than a studio because of the layout. Like I'm gonna be so much happier. But then I realized it's not the issue with the space, and then I was like, yeah, it's not gonna change even if I move. So I think that's when I've kind of accepted it now. Is yeah, probably won't be. I'm not saying just because I've changed my mindset on it doesn't mean I'm suddenly gonna be all like rainbows and sunshine here. But
yeah.
yeah, I think the realization. I just had another realization, which is why it's paused. But um,
Okay.
it's just because a lot of people, if they hear this, they're gonna be like, "So, what do you think your solution is?" And I tried to think about many solutions. Like I've always tried to want to figure it out because I've not. It's not like I want to be in this place. Like I don't want to be in this place, or like this mindset at least, and I don't want to feel attached. But I've tried. I've tried many ways, and it didn't work. And some people are like, just feel it and like let yourself. You're like, maybe it worked. I've done that for the past fucking year. Now, especially with COVID, like we can't go anywhere either. So I can't
Mm,
even spend time with myself elsewhere. Like I have to be in this room. Like it can't be anywhere else. Which is why now I've been trying to go on walks. Um, some days like I've not done it many times. It was like a recent kind of act, but
mm,
it was nice, but it was also not nice. Like I would see couples and that infuriated me. I was just like, I tried to avoid that to come outside, and then I see you guys. Like, obviously, it's not their fault, but like, I'll look at them and I'm like, well, then that's my day ruined, and then I'll like walk away. Like, yeah, of course, no hate to them. Like,
and also like with movies and everything, it's just
yeah, and I guess in the physical aspect, like now I can't even go to the gym. That was like one way where I tried to cope. Like
And
it was,
distract.
yeah, like I put it on my list where I must do every day. Like I would put it on my list, be like, I have to, it was like one of my tick boxes of the day. And but what I realized when I go on walks, I think more. And there's a positive aspect of the physical side, but it also had the negative aspect because I kept
Yes.
thinking and thinking to myself as well. Like it wasn't like to other people. Like it wasn't like I was talking to other people about different things. It's just because it's in my head. I think about the things that's important to me, and that keeps rewinding in different ways. Like how, like maybe this way I'll make it work again, or maybe I should do this or do that, and then I try to find more solutions to that. When ultimately I know it won't change. Like so, yeah, COVID definitely had an impact. Maybe I would have gotten over it if it wasn't for COVID. Who knows? I don't think it would have, but I'm just saying.
You could have went back home to your parents and maybe kind of find comfort in there, but you couldn't.
Distractions.
Distractions.
And like, yeah, there are parts of me where I look at other couples, like some of, like I know some couples which have dated for like 6, 7 years at our age, and they're like fully committed. They have no issues. Like I guess I look at them and I'm like, why can't I have that? Like, why do I have to deal with all this? Like, what did I do so wrong? And I start blaming myself. But I think
Yeah.
now, because before I used to think like, how can I live without it? How am I supposed to
Mm.
survive now? But in the literal sense, before I met him, I lived maybe not the best life, definitely not the best life. And because I learned so much from him, I'm definitely a better person now. I don't think I could have been the person I am or have the thoughts that I have before I met him. Like a lot of things have changed, and
But thank you so much for your answers. Unless you have anything else to add, but like it was very rich in context. And I really appreciate you opening up, even though it might have been really hard.